or you're a soldier getting off those trains, and you then see the rest of Ukraine living a very normal life.
Good Lord.
And
I mean, that's war, in a way. I mean, certainly modern war, unless you're looking at the kind of, you know, getting caught, the Germans getting caught on their way to Stalingrad or something like that. The life behind the front has always gone on relatively as normal in European wars compared to life at the front. But that must sap some of the resolve of the soldiers that you described, as if they're two parallel universes, and people living in the Mad Max version feeling increasingly forgotten by the people living in the other version?
They do, and there's a huge amount of animosity growing now.
Right.
And although
terrifying.
And you know, and I understand both worlds, and I understand that to go on. But you find yourself, you know, I was standing in the town square in Lviv, and I just wanted to put my backpack down.
Yes.
And scream at the top of my voice.
Do you know what's going on?
Do you know what's going on? Every man and woman needs to put their shoulder to the wheel, otherwise there is going to be no Ukraine.
Which brings me to the question that informs today's programme, in your view. What happens? I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you would be of the view that the prospect of Putin succeeding is higher now than it has been first days of the invasion. What happens if he wins?
There seems to be this perception that Putin is just looking for land, and there was this whole range of stories that were projected by the Russians as to why they were conducting this special military operation, as they call it. In reality, you know, Russians who, whether they be prisoners of war or Russians that you meet who are now fighting on the Ukrainian side, their view is that the average Russian who was on the other side, their view was, why should Ukraine, or why should the average Ukrainian live better than a Russian? And don't forget that outside of the major cities of Moscow and St. Petersburg, in the vast continent, you know, Russia is huge, and in that landmass, poverty is rife. You know, 20% of Russians still have an outside toilet. Yeah. It is, and so with the propaganda mixed with the sense that there was a huge amount of animosity to Ukraine because Ukraine was turning to the West.
Yeah.
It wanted to be part of Europe. It was embracing NATO.
And you can't underestimate the power of a completely controlled media. So, you know, they're getting an entirely bent analysis of the facts, the Russian public, most of the time.
Absolutely. And, you know, there is... Ukraine is really at a critical moment now, and in all of the trips that I've done and all of the times that I've been, I've never been so worried. Yes, you know, I'm talking to individuals and friends in various units, and they're losing people, and that has its own morale happening in and of itself, but the fact that they feel that they have, for whatever reason, all of the support and all of the words from the West about don't worry, we are standing with you, that has fallen completely by the wayside.
That kind of looks at us, which is why that second question accompanied the apocalyptic one at the very start of this hour. Gordon, I never know whether or not I'll get callers like you when I jump into the end at 10 o'clock in the morning, but when I do, it's a source of enormous gratitude. Do you want to tell us more about your organisation? A few people are asking if they can support you or help you, but it's entirely up to you.
If everybody goes to Operation Freelander on Facebook, we're a small group, there's 3 of us, effectively, and we raise money, we purchase Land Rover Freelanders, mechanics rebuild them, we refurbish them, we paint them, we equip them, we take out equipment that they need. This time we took out chainsaws, optics, combat boots, specific to the units that we're supplying, and anybody who wants to contact us can contact us on Facebook, via Facebook, and we will be setting up another Operation Freelander, and we will be setting up another Facebook a fundraising page. The difficulty is that most fundraising organisations don't allow us on their platforms because we're supporting the military.
Because it's a war. Like, well, you know, as we learned yesterday with a tale of a viral platform. Sometimes causes online are not quite what they appear to be. So I invite you to publicise your organisation with a tiny scintilla of hesitation, but having spoken to you for the best part of 20 minutes, I just sensed that was, and looking at my inbox as well, I just sensed that was something that people wanted to hear. Gordon, keep in touch. It is 10:34. I'm sure you understand why we're going to the news a little late. Thomas Watts is here now with your headlines.
Jeremy Hunt has insisted the tax burden would go down under a future Conservative government. The Chancellor, who's been speaking in London, has accused Labour of planning tax hikes. French police have shot and killed a man who officers found trying to set fire to a synagogue. It happened in the city of Rouen in Normandy at about 7 o'clock. President Putin has described Russia's partnership with China as inseparable as he continues a state visit. His forces are pressing ahead with an assault in Kharkiv, where residents faced a 16-hour air raid alert last night. LBC mist and fog clearing to leave sunny spells and showers. They'll be heavy with a risk of thunder in parts of Scotland, a high of 22 degrees.
LBC.
Buy part of a new wind farm and generate your own low-cost greener energy with Ripple. Joining Ripple could cut your energy bills every year for decades, without the hassle of getting solar panels installed onto your home or business. Your own energy to wherever you live, even if you move home. That's real climate action to be proud of. Join now to be part of our next wind farm. Welcome to Ripple. Ripple Energy.
Don't know where to start your next paint project? At Wix, find all the inspiration and help you'll need. Plus, Dulux standard 2.5-litre coloured emulsion was £21, now 15. Terms apply.
With the biggest range of cars to buy entirely online, it's no wonder everyone's cinching it.
I cinched it. You're in spin class. Think I'm going to be sick.
I cinched it in this coffee shop.
What are you having?
The five-door hatchback.
This is your captain speaking. I cinched it before takeoff with a 14-day money-back guarantee.
With so many reasons to buy, just making it. They're cinching it. Comparison against retailers. Visit cinchshop.co.uk/range and minor conditions and terms apply.
The Red Cross is here to deliver essentials to people who have lost everything in Ukraine.
We are here to support families enduring the food crisis in Somalia.
We're here to shelter earthquake survivors in Turkey and Syria.
We're here for humanity. With your support, the Red Cross has helped millions of people in the UK and 190 other countries. Search British Red Cross to support us. Together, we are the world's emergency responders.
Checkatrade are so confident in the quality of the trades on checkatrade.com they want to shout it from the rooftops and from the bathrooms. And who better than John, a plumber from Sussex, to do it for them? Right then, John, let's do this.
Only quality plumbers like me get on checkatrade.com, and if you book through there, they'll guarantee our work up to £1,000.
Lovely. Cheers, John. Let's do this.
Checkatrade.com.
Guaranteed for 12 months. Eligibility and T's and C's apply.
Correct. So you pay. One code everywhere. From Robson. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Obviously, it can't be used literally everywhere. Surfaces may be prepped. See tin for another photos.
On your smart speaker, just say, play LBC.
10:38 is the time. I his explanations, which I won't mind. Me reminding you that it is but one perspective and others welcome. That was absolutely fascinating. I never thought about the idea that many Russians might be taking what Ukraine has as it aligns itself with the West. Of course, it's easier to hate than to look inward and direct that anger and hate towards Putin. Absolutely fascinating. I agree, but it did, didn't it, towards the end, return attention, refocus attention on that supplementary question of Summer, which is why have we done so little? I kind of thought the problem, one of the billion problems with Boris Johnson is that he is fundamentally corrupt. I think that's an opinion I've just come to. But he did demonstrate that the lesson of being at the front of the queue of supporters of Ukraine, certainly in the early days of the war, was a popular political position to adopt. So you don't even need to be courageous or brave to do it. You could be entirely cynical and self-serving, as of course Boris Johnson always is. And yet subsequently, I don't know if you can count Liz Truss's 49 days in the job, but subsequently the sense of the United Kingdom being a stalwart, staunch supporter of Ukraine has dissipated with every passing month of the year, hasn't it? And I don't fully understand why. Maybe it is just a reflection of our genuine status on the world stage, rather than a sort of inflated PR-style status perpetrated by Boris Johnson. If you want to join the conversation, the number is 0345 6060973. Remember that second question is, why have we done so little? Why are we doing so little? What happens if Putin wins?
Big time, always have been. It's a little bit backwards, okay? I'm 42 years old now, but once upon a time I was a young NATO soldier serving in a military base, and our purpose was only one, and it was to keep the Russians out of Europe. Unfortunately, us in the West fell into a false sense of security. This is the war that's been in the making for 20 years, okay? And now it's gone. There's a gentleman called Alexander Dugin, which is called in Russia the Great Putin. He wrote a book in 1996 called The Foundations of Geopolitics. Okay? And if you open it, if you read it, it is a roadmap for what's happened for the past 20 years. From the invasion of areas of Georgia to Ukraine and so on and so forth. And it's just it's Nostradamus.
And it also looks at the control of information, doesn't it, and the manipulation of information, I think, and the ways in which you can turn the West into a place that would be powerless to resist the imperial march that he dreams of.
Exactly what you wrote, there has been put in place. One of the big points that he made is they had to separate Britain from Europe. And lo and behold, he made Brexit. Another point he made is to stabilize the United States from within, using race wars and so on and so forth by whatever means possible. Lo and behold, we get Trump. James, we in the West are sleepwalking. We are all watching the war. Okay? The Russians like this, that's why they change everything completely into a war footing.
This is the point of Isola. This is the point of Isola was making earlier in the week by just pointing out what the change in personnel at the top of the Russian military.
And we have to take it seriously at this moment in time, and it's going to bite us. Unfortunately, the Eurozone are responsible that Ukraine could wipe it out with all our support and so on and so forth. As it stands, between the Americans and the good others in Congress, and it's the last they already needed when they needed it, okay? It's sometimes more or less, unfortunately, minds, not pulling their weight.
Who is pulling their weight? I sense you watch things a little bit more closely than the rest of us. I presume the Baltic states are aware of the jeopardy. Yeah.
Very quietly, I seem to not put the Russian at this moment in time, but it's also just not really on themselves as being fundamentally 4% of their gross product, gross income in armaments. The Romanians, for the past year, have been building a motorway 24 hours a day, 365 days a day, with a motorway from their western border to the border of Ukraine, and they have already purchased a load of Korean tanks as well, and the Baltics are petrified.
When did your pendulum swing? When did you shift from, when in the 12 months did your optimism disappear?
I was watching it and I feel seen. I feel seen. I know that feeling. I know that feeling of being that teenage girl and being that frustrated and that unheard and just feeling ostracised. And then the interesting scene where you bring in the doctor who tries to exercise her. Why was it important to have that character?
Yeah, I mean, he really represented this kind of social expectation, those rules and why those rules are in place. And there's always some strange man that doesn't know anything about you, like making all these rules of how you see and, and try to fix you or fix women in that sense. But also comedic. Sometimes the scariest things are funny. I mean, you can see even, songs as well sometimes, and that's that weird edge of like, it's so funny, but it's also terrifying that these people are in control and, you know, have a following. So that was really what he represented in the film.
And I really appreciated that you didn't shy away from what actually physically happens when a girl goes through puberty. And the scene where you have her trying to wash the blood out of her period cramp, and the smell, and her itching, and just the hair, all of it. I've never seen it before.
Right, yeah. I mean, that was something always from the beginning when I was, you know, even writing the script. And I'm so glad that you said the smell, because that was always my intention, was like, you can feel that smell and that pain and then all the bodily feelings that she's going through. That was something that I wanted to, you know, have in the film from the get-go, because you shouldn't shy away from that, because, yeah, we all have functions enough. And, you know, we shouldn't put shame on that, of course. Yeah.
How has the reaction been to the film in Malaysia?
Mixed, I'd say. I think there was I mean, when we released it theatrically, because we wanted to qualify for the Oscars, we went through the censorship rules, so it was quite heavily censored. And in parts that actually surprised me a lot. I thought it was, you know, maybe more the gory parts, but it was really parts about just her being a, you know, a beautiful, young, bright star girl, like, you know, just enjoying herself. And so that was quite painful for us.
Well, it's interesting that one of the scenes that was cut, for me, was one of the most joyful scenes. It's where she's dancing in the waterfall, and she's just having the time of her life, and it made me smile. It lifted my heart, because it was just a young woman being free and embodying who she is.
Absolutely, I think
and that was the one that was censored.
Yeah, one of the cuts, at least. But I think that was the one where I was like, oh my god, I can't sit with this, because like, then the film doesn't make sense to me. Like, you need to have this end where, you know, she is who she is, and she's celebrated, and she's celebrating herself, and we all should do that. It was like, here I am making a film about, you know, a young woman trying to express herself the way she wants to, and then it's really happening to us in real life, you know, when we're trying to express a story and we're not allowed to, and so I had to make a statement. I mean, that's why I did. I made a kind of statement about it, about censorship, and, you know, about how I'm not really happy about that, and how people support the theatrical release, which is a weird thing for a director to say, don't go watch my film anywhere, at least in Malaysia.
At least in Malaysia, because I mean, the reaction internationally has been phenomenal. It won a Grand Jury Prize at Cannes last year. That must have been quite something, receiving that honour.
It was amazing. It was, like, just incredible, unbelievable. Like, it's been a nice journey. It's been,
and also,
now.
It's also Malaysia's official submission to the Oscars. So the authorities might not approve of what you've done, but, you know, you're putting Malaysia, from the Malaysian film industry, right out there, front and centre, internationally.
That's the tricky part of being, you know, from a country like Malaysia, where we have censorship, and you know, you can't help but celebrate the accolades that Malaysians do, but it's just that weird thing that when you have to show it to Malaysians, that it's from a tricky,
Well, I was just going to say, because, you know, you are making these stories about Malaysia, about empowering Malaysian women, young women, but of course coming up against the censorship board. You could make films anywhere. You don't have to be in Malaysia.
No, that's absolutely true, but I think when I started making, you know, first short films, and, you know, that seemed kind of great. And, you know, I was at a place where I was struggling with my identity as a Malaysian woman, because I wasn't accepted, or at least I perceived that I wasn't accepted as a Malaysian. And so it was through my films where I became very proud of my identity and became a very proud Malaysian woman. And I found a way to kind of express that and also explore and discover that as well for myself,
What have you learned from this experience about what it takes to get a film about Malaysian women made?
I think the journey's been great. I know that the fight is a fight that needs to happen, but I guess it doesn't put me down. It just makes me want to keep going, kind of talk more about things and fight, you know, for voices that maybe aren't allowed
Amanda Nell Reid from Kuala Lumpur. Her film Tiger Stripes is out in the UK. Last weekend, the Olympic gold medalist Lauren Price MBE became Wales's first female boxing world champion, winning the WBO, IBO and Ring Magazine world titles in spectacular fashion in her hometown of Cardiff, beating WBA welterweight champion Jessica Pascal. Well, Lauren is the only boxer to win every single round of her career to become world champion. She's had a diverse sporting career along the way, 4 times world kickboxing champion, and she received 52 caps for the Welsh national football team. She joins me now. And me talk about being gifted. Lauren, congratulations. How tough was that night for you?
Yeah, it was my toughest test to date. I knew obviously she was a legitimate champion. You know, she'd been in there with some top opposition as well, so I knew in my pro career definitely it was my toughest test. And obviously that pressure of having, you know, boxing first time before with a crowd. Yeah, it was up there, but like the experience I had the night, it was one of the best nights of my career.
Must have been an emotional one. I'd say you were in your hometown.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Wales, you know, we're a small nation, but we're very proud when I'm back our own. I've been overwhelmed with support ever since the first time I was in London. I didn't know how many people I was going to sell, but they flew me out to the park. Everyone in London, they come out and supported me, and it was great. Come out on top of that ramp, and I had goosebumps, and then obviously walk into the ring, listening to the Welsh national anthem, and when that bell went and they were all chanting Lauren, it was just, yeah, it was something that'll last with me forever.
How does it compare to winning gold at the Tokyo Olympics?
So I'll be honest with you, right? From the age of 8, it was my dream to go to the Olympics and win gold, and I'll be honest, nothing is going to beat that Olympic gold medal in terms of accolades and stuff like that. However, the atmosphere and having the Welsh fans behind me and supporting me is unbelievable. That.
From the age of 8, you wanted to go to the Olympics?
Yeah, I was.
Did you know what you wanted to win gold in back then?
No, I didn't have a clue. I sat in the living room with my nan and granddad, and Kelly Oates was the one who inspired me. Seeing her, you know, winning an Olympic gold medal, what's that finish like? I was mad into sport, playing football, I was a kickboxer, and the pinnacle of the sport was the Olympic Games, and that was my dream from such a young age. I just wanted to get there, and I think just the fact that I had grandparents, love, support, you know, believe in me, or supported me, fighting me throughout my career to get there. So if it wasn't for them, then, you know, I wouldn't have achieved anything.
Let's discuss just the things. I'm glad you brought your granny and grandpa, because they are instrumental in you being you, aren't they? Because they took you in from when you were 3 months old. They brought you up.
3 days old.
3 days.
Yeah, 3 days old. They brought me up, and yeah, that's why I call myself the lucky one. I feel like you know, I had a lucky escape, and yeah, they showed me love, you know, and my nan always used to say to me, reach for the moon, if I fall short, I land on the stars. And she's a massive part of my life still. Sadly, my granddad passed away just before the Olympics with dementia. But, you know, that's a massive thing as well. I believe he's always looking down on me where I'm landing. Yeah, like I said, he was a massive part of my life before. Whether I was playing football on a Sunday, up in the valleys, hailstorming, he stood there on the side of the pitch with a glass of coffee, cheering me on, or going away to kickboxing competitions which cost thousands, taking me training every night. I wasn't like a normal kid. I was always coming from school, I'd have a nap, and then I'd be going out training every night of the week. So yeah, their lives were, you know, took over by, yeah, taking me training and, like I said, the financial side of things. So when I won that Olympic gold medal, it was that, I need to bring that home to my nan, you know, it was kind of like, you know, I got it in the end. And I think that's a massive thing for going forward in youngsters. Yeah. It doesn't matter how silly your dreams are or how big they sound, you work hard and you can achieve them.
Where does your drive come from? So you come home, you get changed, and you're back out there training every night. Not on a telephone, not sitting in front of the TV. Where does that drive for you come from?
I think I was just mad in love with sport. I I was like taken as a child. I had so much energy bouncing around. And my nan said to me, "Ryan, you need to take us somewhere to lose some energy." But I just fell in love with sport. Fell in love with, and when you look at it, like football, the kickboxing, now the boxing, I just love the physical side as well. I just love getting involved. I loved everything about it, competitiveness, you know, and even when I was a youngster, you know, it showed that my schoolwork improved massively as well from my academic side. With everything, so yeah.
But you weren't just Leipzig, I love that reference. You were actually really gifted at everything you turn your hand to. You were a footballer with Cardiff City, you won 52 caps for the Welsh national team, which is remarkable. But you gave it up in 2012 to focus on boxing. Why did you choose boxing?
Yeah, I think obviously I wrote this down in school. I wanted to do three things. I wanted to become a world boxing champion. I wanted to play football for it, and I wanted to be Olympic. But I picked two of them not to like by the time I was 20 years of age. I got won 4 World Kickboxing titles, and like you said, I had 52 caps for Wales. And when boxing got introduced in London 2012, I thought, oh, that's my time to kind of switch over and give boxing a go, because you know, it was my dream to get to the Olympics. And in 2014, the Welsh national coach, Colin Jones, said to me, oh, you've got the opportunity to go to Commonwealth Games. And as you can imagine, doing one sport, I was trying to juggle both of them, and it wasn't working at a high level. So I thought, if boxing didn't work out for me, I could always go back to playing football. But luckily enough, it did work out. I won a bronze medal at the age of 20 at the 2014 Commonwealth Games, and then I went around the Wales, picked up experience, and the main goal then was to get myself on the TV, where I got on in 2017 just after the Wales cycle. And my career just ran through the roof. I won the Commonwealths, the Wales, the Europeans, and then obviously the Olympics. So yeah, I think obviously with that backing and, you know, that UK funding of the lottery just giving me that support, my career just ran through the roof.
That's incredible. And you're formerly an amateur boxer. How different is it being a professional boxer? What's your training regime like now?
So I'm quite lucky really. I'm still based in Sheffield at the English Institute, but you know the boxing side of things, as an amateur, you're boxing 3 seasons, and the way I've got really big grudge me is the pro game. You're boxing over 10 rounds. You've got little gloves on. You feel everything. It's a fight. It's brutal. You know, you're in front of a big crowd, more eyes on you. So yeah.
What's next?
So I've obviously had a little week off now, and I'll speak to my coach Rob, and he'll speak to Ben Shalom and Sky and Boxer. You know, got me this opportunity anyway, fighting Jessica, which I'm very grateful for. But now I've got the titles. There's some massive fights out there for me, and I'm really excited. And yeah, I suppose Rob will just make that decision.
Oh well, we'll be watching you. And what did you do on your week off? Don't tell me you trained.
So I actually went to the gym with Paris yesterday, my partner, because she's boxing in July. Just had a little session, but yeah, I've done a lot of media and just seen a few people. And, you know.
It must be nice to be able to have a partner who's in a similar world to you. You try each other to support each other and you train together, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. We're special. We have to look together. She got a medal as well. And I think, you know, having someone who understands what you go through, especially making it a weightlifting sport when you've got a diet and you've got every day.
Lauren, I think you're absolutely remarkable. Congratulations once again. You've got Team Women's Hour supporting you. We'll be keeping an eye on your career. Best of luck. And yeah, no doubt you're going to smash it, whatever you do next. That's it from me. Do join me tomorrow for Women's Hour again at 4 o'clock, where I'll be joined, or we'll be hearing from actor Tamsin Greig and journalist Becca Aikenhead on her experience of sleepwalking.
Women's Hour was presented by Anita Riley and produced by Louise Corn. Studio engineer was Bob Nichols. After the news, the food programme assesses the culinary effect of 200,000 Hong Kongers arriving in the UK in the last 3 years, and that's followed at 11:45 by our book of the week, Martin Ivan's The Immune Mind.
I'm Rajan Datta. Having explored the world, I'm now exploring how we can stop over-tourism, protect destinations and the environment from the negative impacts of travel. Global tourism is on the rise, but here's the thing. Are we ruining the natural beauty, local communities and attractions we seek out so keenly?
As a result, yes to tourism and saying yes to more hotels. What they haven't about is the resources or the provisions or housing for the locals.
The Tourist Trap with me, Rajan Datta, starting on Monday morning at 11 on BBC Radio 4 and BBC Sounds. BBC News at 11 o'clock. French police have shot dead an armed man who set fire to a synagogue in the northwestern city of Rouen. Officers were called after smoke was seen rising from the building. They were confronted by a man with a knife and an iron bar. Our correspondent in Paris, Hugh Schofield, is following developments.
It's quite clear that there was an attempt by this man to set fire and destroy the synagogue because there is severe damage apparently inside the synagogue. It looks like he's been able to climb in an upstairs window, threw in a Molotov cocktail, and that caught fire and has caused quite a drama inside. No body has been heard from any part of the matter.
The Chancellor Jeremy Hunt has said the government would like to cut national insurance again before the election if it can afford to. At an event in Westminster, he claimed Labour would have to put up taxes by £10 billion a year by 2029 to meet its spending commitments. Labour has said all its policies are fully funded. Israel says false evidence from Hamas has been presented to the UN's top court, leading to accusations of genocide in Gaza. South Africa has brought a case at the International Court of Justice and called on Israel to halt its military operation in the southern city of Rafah, where more than 1 million displaced Palestinians are sheltering. An Israeli representative told the court that the allegations were divorced from reality. In Gaza, the United States has confirmed that the first shipment of aid delivered via a temporary pier has gone ashore. The former sub-postmaster and campaigner Alan Bates has rejected a second offer of compensation from the Post Office for Horizon IT scandal. He says the latest offer amounted to a third of what he'd requested. Mr. Bates leads the Justice for Sub-Postmasters Alliance, which campaigns for financial redress for the hundreds of people who were caught up in the scandal. And the boss of South West Water has said she's truly sorry for the outbreak of a sickness bug in South Devon caused by contaminated water. 20 cases of Cryptosporidius have been confirmed in the Brixham area. BBC News.
This is BBC Radio 4, where in an hour Antisocial will be looking at student campaigns in British universities to get those universities to disinvest from Israel. Antisocial is at midday today. Now though, it's time for the food programme, where we hear how the new wave of Hong Kong migrants is changing the food culture of the UK.
Hello, can I have the Sichuan mala broth? I think I will have some pork belly.
And then you can pick the spicy level, so you go from mild to ultra.
Right. I can see that mild says best for babies there, which feels like a dig at anyone that's about to select that. I'm sweating already and we've not even ordered, so maybe I'll go medium or extra. Maybe I'll go extra. What would you advise?
Welcome to the food programme with me, Jimmy Famarego, where this week we begin in Camden, North London. It's a tucked-away noodle bar on the second floor of Morley Wharf Food. Holy Sheep is one of many new food outlets that have been opened by Hong Kongers newly relocated to the UK. It's also the choice of my companion for lunch.
Hi, I'm Joyce. I was the project director of the Welcoming Community for Hong Kongers. So it is actually providing the help for Hong Kongers to settle in. So myself is also a Hong Konger. I came 2022.
You mentioned food has been a really useful way in. Can you talk to us a little bit about how that has kind of played out?
Hong Kongers are very happy to introduce our own food to everyone around the world, first of all. We also see that there's quite a lot of Hong Kongers. They are trying to start up their own business, bringing Hong Kong food to the UK. I'm so excited about it because, I can try some food that I miss very much. And on the other hand, I'm also very glad that, actually we can also introduce our culture to everyone in the UK to understand Hong Kong.
Is it quite an emotional connection there? Because things that you miss from home, there's something quite powerful about bringing those flavours to a new context, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like when you say, I'm homesick, The first thing I can think of is always food.
So you've brought us to Holy Sheep, and you said it's the best place for spicy rice noodles in the Hong Kong style. How did you first discover this place? Why is it a really good example of this new wave of Hong Kong cuisine?
This is actually introduced by a friend who lives nearby. I personally like the spicy rice noodle very much in Hong Kong. I eat that once or twice a week. Yeah, that's one of my favorite foods. I think this kind of spicy level is not very traditional, to Hong Kongers. So the trend actually starts right around 10-15 years ago. That many Hong Kongers want to use this kind of spicy rice noodles.
Until recently, Joyce has been working for the Hong Kong Welcoming Committee, a project run by the think tank British Future, with funding from the government's Levelling Up department.
I'm Heather Rolfe. I'm Director of Research at British Future. We've been running a project for 2 years, which has involved coordinating projects across the UK to help Hong Kongers to settle and integrate. And this work has included a research programme aimed at understanding of how Hong Kongers are settling into their new lives. 99% intend to stay permanently, so this is their new home. Our survey was the first nationally representative large-scale survey of Hong Kongers in the UK. It was carried out with the help of the Home Office, who helped us select a representative sample. About 160,000 have come since the visa route was opened in 2021. So there's a difference between the visas that have been issued and then the people who have arrived. There's a lag, so I'd say it was probably up to about 190. So a big change in the numbers of people from Hong Kong. So Hong Kongers have settled across the UK, London, and particularly the suburbs on the southwest side, including Sutton and Kingston upon Thames. The Midlands, including Nottingham, suburbs of Birmingham, have also been popular, and also at the northwest, so areas around Manchester, for example, Warrington and Trafford.
Hong Kongers have been migrating